yeah. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. You're all I need.
Read the books if I have time to spare. I'll paint the walls some more. I'm sure there's room somewhere. And then I'll brush and brush my hair. Stuck in the same place I've always.
Men find the most attractive qualities being feminine qualities like nurturing, caring, supportive, joyous, intimate, affectionate, pleasant, pretty. All the standard sort of feminine, lovely qualities. If you need help, book on a call. I'm here to help, guys. You guys can achieve a 10 out of 10. Just got to learn how to do it the right way.
All that glitters. One time for the money, 2 times for the love, 3 times for the beauty. These are the things that dreams are made of. 1 time for my body, 2 times for my.
Yo, so I'm just gonna say it. If a guy ignores you for days, it's just time for you to move on. He saw that text message you sent him twice or 3 times. He just had other obligations and other opportunities to talk to other people where you weren't a priority, and it's time to move on and forget about him.
Modern women are going to have to learn that when you walk into a singles event and there's a room that's half empty, oh man, all of the women's tickets are sold. Room half empty, a room full of women and no men, that's a sign that men have actually checked out and they don't want anything to do with you on any level.
You're not her partner anymore, you're her resource. She treats you like a utility, valued for what you provide, but not for the man you are. You're the afterthought in a life that you built. She gives you function, not affection, responsibility, not connection, tasks, not touch. She needs you all the time, but she hasn't wanted you in years. You're not losing intimacy by accident. You're disappearing inside a dynamic that reduces you to what you do instead of the man you are. So how long are you going to keep living as the support beam in your own marriage when what you really want is to be the man that she can't keep her hands off? DM me or click that link in my bio to stop living like a utility and start being the man that she actually chooses.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
And you moved on immediately. But I wish you the best for the rest of your life. Felt sorry for you when I looked in your eyes. But I need to confess, I told you a lie.
Some may call me nasty, but I don't give a. But I'm a man, and I can accept who I am. I can look myself in the mirror, and I can sleep at night. A period ain't stopping nothing.
I think in this day and age, the whole dynamic of approaching has changed. You know, it used to be you can just walk up to somebody, and even if they rejected you, that was the end of it, right? But nowadays, modern women want to pull out their phone, they want to record you, they want to put you on TikTok, they want to act a fool. And for a lot of men, I just don't think that's the way they want to live their life.
And it feels if I listen to my mom, look, I'll be home.
If your avoidant ex moved on quickly, it's more likely that's because they cared about you than if they didn't. Avoidants suppress big emotions, and to do that, they need help from distraction and projection. The new person, they're the distraction. The stuff that you're hearing about and seeing on social media that's upsetting you, that's the projection. Leave them in their cycle. Leave them in their mess. Big hug.
I am on the hunt for a single Christian girl in the Dallas, Texas area. If you are in your early to mid 20s, you love Jesus, you are actively involved in your church, you enjoy health and fitness, you like going on walks or to the gym, and you just enjoy being around people who are like-minded and like to have a good time. If any of this sounds like you, then DM me the word Dallas, and I may just have the perfect guy for you.
What is it called when you don't want to be a stay-at-home wife, but you also don't want to work 40 hours a week?
Human? But I mean, when you're an adult, you do it anyways. You're definitely not the only one who doesn't want to do that. You end up choosing which one sounds less bad for you, what works for you long term, what works for your family, and that's what you do.
How men are treated in a lot of these systems has fundamentally altered the way they approach things and they go about things. You wonder why men are checking out of society and why men are not buying into a lot of this nonsense. It's because modern women and the system really honestly and truly continue to screw them over and over again. And y'all not hearing them when they say, hey, I don't think that this is fair.
How to get a woman interested in you? Guys ask me this all the time. The biggest mistake men make is waiting for a woman to send a signal that she's interested. But men, here's what the most successful guys in dating know. The number one way to get her interested in you is for you to make a move. You see, women are drawn to confidence. And when a guy is willing to step up to the plate and go up to a woman, that's the first thing that's gonna create that spark. I'm a dating coach for men with 13 years experience. And if you wanna become the kind of guy that can walk up to any woman with confidence, DM me the word spark and let's chat.
Watching my ex thrive, it's a beautiful thing, but it's really triggering for me because I walked away with literally having to start over after 12 years of starting over, of wondering if I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head with my boys and not being able to just go out and play in our backyard like we used to, and wondering if I'm going to be able to feed them.
The problem that I have with this is that when you decide to no longer be in a relationship with somebody, they do not owe you for their successes from the time that you stopped being with them on, outside of what they owe you for potentially justified alimony and child support. You cannot get mad that that man is successful without you because you're not his future, so he does not owe you the future rewards.
Honestly, men are tired. They're genuinely tired of the nonsense, the BS, the crap that modern women continue to put out here online for no freaking reason. I'm not about to continue to be a part of that. And so when you get mad that I'm checking out, remember, hey, I as a modern woman had a part to play in this.
Why some men never chase women, even when they are really interested. Psychology says most people get this completely wrong. It looks like they don't care at all. It looks like they are playing hard to get. It looks like they are not attracted enough. But the real reason is much deeper than that. These men have learned something very important over time. They have learned that chasing a woman actually takes away their own power and inner peace. So they choose to wait instead. They wait and observe quietly. They wait and see how she moves toward them. They wait and see if the connection feels natural and effortless. They choose emotional intelligence over impulsive desire. They can read the situation clearly. They can read her energy and real intentions. They can read whether it is truly worth investing their peace and attention. The surprising part is this: these men are not less interested than other men. They are actually more intentional with their energy and time. And the right woman always feels the difference in how calm and confident they are around her.
And then men who, teenage boys and the level of they're really men, levels of testosterone are just stunning, off the chart. And, moms, the best thing they could do, what's he focused on now? what's he focused on now? What's he focused on now? But as y'all get older and the hormones fall naturally, it's not a bad thing. The brain reconfigures. And this is where wisdom shows up, because now it can be seen. The verbal centers get hooked up to all these other parts of the brain that there were no connections before. And then the knowledge that a man has spent a lifetime acquiring all of a sudden is just flowing out and flowing out and flowing out. And then women's estrogen levels have disappeared with the ovum. And so whatever testosterone we have left is taking over. So my youngest daughter, she was really hurt. She thought I was ignoring her. I wasn't ignoring her. I was approaching menopause and I'd become more focused. So I couldn't hear her. My brain was screening out everything it considered irrelevant, and it considered her voice irrelevant. And she was crushed, like many women are. Many moments of every day, we're just crushed that you're ignoring us. We don't know that you're not, that your committed state of mind has screened everything out. And I had to go through this. First I heard about it, and then I had to experience as I went from being 30, I was 30 years old when I started studying men. Now I'm 64.
These modern women are going to continue the same cycle over and over again. I'm going to go to a singles event. So I'm a swear off men. I'm going to tell them don't approach me. And then I'm going to want to be approached. So I'm going to go to a bar. Tired of getting hit on by Chad and Tyrone and pumped and dumped at the bar. So then I'm going to go to a singles event or a church event thinking that I'm going to meet the cream of the crop. And I'm not going to find nobody because the men ain't there. And then I'm going to get online talking about where the men at. And then I'm going to find a good man. And I'm going to fumble him. And you're going to repeat the cycle.
Rent is paid. Car note is paid. And now I see $800 in takeout charges for this month alone.
So, you make 6 figures, Cole. Stop penny pinching. A provider is supposed to provide without complaining.
I provide the shelter and the raw materials. The traditional deal is that you convert those resources into a home. Where is dinner?
Dinner? Are you kidding? It's 2026. I'm not your maid. I don't belong in the kitchen.
Interesting. So you are a modern woman when it comes to cooking, but you identify as a traditional woman when the bills arrive.
I bring other value. I bring my presence. I bring feminine energy and beauty. You should be happy a woman like me chose you.
Beauty is a depreciating asset. It drops in value every single year. You're trying to pay a 30-year mortgage with a currency that crashes in 10.
Wow. You are so transactional. Relationships are about partnership, not assets and liabilities.
Partnership implies a shared load. If I pull the cart and you just sit in the cart, you are not a partner, you are cargo.
I'm not cargo. I manage the vibes. I make this house a home just by being here.
You make this house a mess, and you want the CEO salary for the intern job description. That math doesn't work.
You are toxic. A real high-value man wouldn't ask his wife to work. He would spoil her.
A high-value man invests in value. He doesn't subsidize laziness. You want the prize without running the race.
Fine. Then hire a maid, hire a cook. Since you are so rich, just outsource it.
If I outsource the cooking, the cleaning, and the peace, then what do I need you for?
What are you saying, Cole?
I'm saying that in corporate terms, if a role has no function, the position becomes redundant. Pick a lane. Tradition is a trade, not a donation. Meeting adjourned.
Modern women, this is the stupid behavior that men are walking away from. Modern women will sit up there and act like it's a chore, like they're doing you a favor, like they're making your life grand by texting you back. Oh, let me go ahead, girl, child, let me go ahead and text him back. He blowing up my phone. You don't have anything else that you got going on. You better be so happy that I'm taking you seriously, because the last 10 guys that you chose, they don't like you. They're not looking at you like that.
A quick question. Where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not.
I have said this before and I will say it again. They are most likely working or home chilling or maybe just ignoring people.
You also have to look at the fact that a man is not lonely. He might be alone, but he's alone on purpose. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people miss, a lot of modern women miss, is that, oh man, the male loneliness epidemic. It's the male peace epidemic. I don't doubt that there are some guys out there that are, struggling with mental health. We have rates of unaliving. So we have to look at those and take those seriously, right? But we also have to stop and say, hold on. You guys think it, basically you're saying it's because men are bad people that this has happened to them. Instead of actually listening to what men are saying, well, maybe, yes, I have some things to improve on, but maybe, just maybe, society is beating me down.
Women fall in love with their ears and men fall in love with their eyes. So men observe what they see and fall in love with what they think. But you could be a witch at the end of the day. But women, they fall in love with telling them. And then y'all fall in love with what y'all think y'all might get, but you don't be getting it.
But
it's the same.
I think that modern women have talked a lot, but men have given modern women a lot of leniency. You said a lot of stupid stuff, and men was like, oh, you know what? She don't really mean that. Let's just keep on being gentlemen. Let's just keep on doing what we were raised to do, what we know to do. No, I'm serious. Stop doing that. And you said it so many times that a man is like, well, I was going to be a gentleman about it, but she don't want that. Let me back up. And now that's where we are today. You've said it so many times that men are like, maybe that's what she means. Let me move out the way. And then you come back and say, no, this is what I want. And that's where men get frustrated, because now you're going back and forth and you actually don't know what you want. You're double-minded. And men are like, I'm not your little dog to where you just jerk my chain and go over here, go over there. I don't work for you. I'm not your pet. I'm not none of that.
To most of you men out there, chivalry is why the are me and my homegirl walking into our job? There's 3 standing outside. There's 3 dudes, men, standing outside near the door. One of them stops and says to my homegirl, "Oh, who you trying to impress today with them lashes? Trying to flirt and shit, nigga? Open the door." Shorty had to open the door for herself. Like, chivalry is dead. Oh my god. Oh my, this is scary. Chivalry is. You guys are useless.
Grown adults need to stop idol worshiping. Watch this. It's sad.
Say it. I can say it.
This is about Justin Bieber. It's wild. Oh man. Oh man. Is that the boyfriend? I feel bad for him.
If you walk up to someone and if someone calls you a creeper, you need to reevaluate your behavior. You need to reevaluate how drunk you are. You need to reevaluate what your approach was if someone's calling you a creeper, full stop, because that's real. Girls don't just throw out creeper, especially if you're a good looking dude. You guys have no idea how far it goes. It's about the approach. If you come off threatening, sometimes asking for the number is a little much. So a non-threatening thing is like, oh, follow me online. And then you slide into the DM. It's a little bit non-threatening. You don't have my phone number, but you still are on my phone. It's almost the same thing, but there's just a little bit of separation. As far as rejection, guys, have confidence. If you're being rejected, you got to evaluate your approach. And then second, like, if you're confident in yourself, you won't really give if you get rejected.
And modern women will continue to complain about, well, how come a man doesn't approach? Well, back when we used to approach you, you know, just to go do it, because that's the way that things were. I could say hi, and you might look at your friend and be like, "Ooh, is he coming over here? Oh, I don't know, girl." And you know, you kind of get a little bit giggly, and say, "Okay, that's a good sign." Even if he's nervous, okay, that's a good sign. But if that turns from being giggly or apprehensive, but still, even if you're apprehensive, you're turning your body towards him and saying, "Okay, let's see how this goes." You know, and even being polite, if you know, you already know that you don't like it, that turns from doing all of that to turning your nose up at him, turning your face away, being rude, not treating them as a human, thinking that you can thumbs up or thumbs down somebody. Who are you?
Women are never single. The idea of a woman, like a man, going 6 or 7 months without talking to, dating, an ex, messaging some guy, they are constantly either talking to a guy, sleeping with a guy, even if they're not anyone, they're talking to 5 or 6 guys on Instagram. Yep. Women are never single, which means every single time you get a girl, you're taking her from other guys. She likes you the most, which also means that even if she's with you, when she's around other men, she's still poachable. Would you want your girl being friends with me? No, you wouldn't, because you know what I'm going to do. This is why the idea of her hanging out with a bunch of dudes is not acceptable in the first place. And she's going to come out and go, they're just my friends. You may pretend to think they don't want to sleep with you, because you know they do. You may pretend to think that, but they don't view you as a friend.
A self-respecting man never begs to be chosen. If you think you can do better somewhere else, go. He is not going to compete with your confusion, because a good man does not force loyalty. He does not chase reluctant love. And he does not keep proving his value to someone still looking over the fence. If you stay, it should be because you are sure, because your heart is settled, because your actions match your words. Not because he persuaded you, not because he made himself smaller to keep you. A man with standards would rather lose the wrong woman than keep someone who is only half in. Real love chooses freely. And a man who knows his worth will never accept being someone's backup plan.
I'm 30 years old. Here's why most men won't date me. Well, I think you just told us why, but let's see. I wake up naturally before 6 a.m. No, that's not the reason. I work up 7 days a week. No. I have way too many hobbies. No. I don't watch TV. No. I expect direct it. No. Inconsistency gives me. No. If someone hurts or disrespects me, I quietly put no. I'm a lover girl to a foot. No. I have a zero tolerance policy for hot and cold. No. I don't entertain cat and mouse games. No. If you spend a lot of time with me, I will convince you that you're capable of everything you've ever dreamed of. How could that be a no? I read you like a book. No. I'm in a different country at least once per quarter. Okay, there we go. Now you're saying the truth. Yeah, that's a massive red flag. I am expensive. Oh, so you're a gold digger. You saved the last two for the actual reason that most men don't want to entertain a 30-year-old expensive woman. Oh, it's because I have a lot of hobbies. No, it's because you're a gold digging.
Men kind of view dates now as a transaction where, oh, I'm going to take you out. I'm going to pay for dinner. I'm going to pay for drinks. Well, you better sleep with me after. That's not what dating is. It's like building connections. It's getting to know somebody. But they view it as like this transactional thing where it's like, I gave this, so I deserve this. It's like we all give and take. And I don't know. I just think it's such a weird like perspective that they have now. I'm like, it's about the experience. And if you're looking at it as a transaction, you're not going to find anybody.
A lot of women, though, view it as transactional too, because I've seen posts from women that are like, I spend $1,200 on my hair. I spend $150 on my lashes. I spend $1,200 on my Botox. I spend this on my nails. And you think I'm worried about a dinner that costs X amount of money. So it's like women are also making it transactional by saying those things, because it's like, if you're doing those things for men, that is your choice, but you're also making it transactional. So it's like, it's both.
He moved on immediately. He started dating and he seems happy. He does exactly those things that you wanted him to do with you. The dinners, the trips, the attention. It makes you feel that he never cared about you. But here's the truth. Men handle loss differently because men have never learned how to sit with the pain. For him, heartbreak equals failure. So he looks for a quick way to win again, to prove that he's still wanted. But trust me, he's not fine. He's just distracted. Months later, when the silence settles and there's no one left to impress, that's when it will hit him. That's when he realizes what he had. But pride will keep him from reaching out, and fear for another loss will make him stay exactly where he is. So he's stuck between what he wants and between what he can't face. And the one who got away is the woman who's left behind. Because a woman faces the pain a man runs from. And that gives a woman the freedom to move forward when she is ready.
Y'all know what sucks about dating as a 28-year-old? Realizing they're a great person, but they're not your person. And I feel like we realize this fairly early on, but a lot of us just refuse to admit it. Because, like, it's sad. It's like you meet a fantastic human being, they check every box, they're not your person, and you can just tell. I feel like that has been like the epitome of my dating life for the past 2 years. I am meeting these fantastic human beings because I'm a very picky person myself about the type of person I'm going to spend time with. But they end up not being my person. There's something that's just not there checking a box. And it sucks and it's sad. And it makes it that much harder to break up with that person, but even if it's the right thing to do. But you know, it's just how it's been lately, and it sucks.
So this is why your relationship is failing. It's because you don't understand the difference between the two. Ego. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Accountability. I'm sorry that I made this decision and it caused you to feel this way. It won't happen again. Ego. Here we go again. Nothing's ever good enough for you, is it? Accountability. I'm noticing that this isn't the first time you've brought this up. I'm sorry that you've had to. Tell me how I can improve so that we can break this cycle. Ego. Well, that's just how I am. I can't help that that's just how I am. Accountability. I understand that we're different in some ways, and some of the things that I do, some of the decisions that I make are upsetting to you. How can I consider your feelings better? What about the things that I do upsets you the most? And how can I change accordingly? Ego. You're always attacking me. Accountability. Thank you for correcting me. Now I know what to work on. It's that simple. It's really that simple. This is why so many relationships are failing. I said what I said. I said what I said. Have a blessed day.
A lot of you think that just because you're an adult, you have to be an independent woman, and it's hurting your dating life. I constantly see videos about the challenges of dating as an independent woman, but I honestly think this whole thing is very self-imposed. Because no guy worth having has an issue with the fact that you can support yourself, have a house, apartment, etc. The problem with being independent isn't that you don't need a man to survive, it's that you're acting like you don't even want one. Obviously, no one needs a man to survive, but if you were constantly hearing from your partner, I don't need you, I'd be fine without you, wouldn't that be hurtful? It makes you think, okay, fine, go be alone then, if all they're talking about is how great it would be on their own. And just because you support yourself doesn't mean you have to act like this, not least of all because it's not even true. Assuming you want a relationship, then your goal is not to be independent, so act like it. It's a good, positive thing to depend on other people, socially and emotionally. Just because you're independent financially does not mean that you need to be independent in every aspect of your life. I think a lot of women see this mindset as like a way to stay guarded and not get hurt. Like if you never need anything from a man, then it means that he can't use that leverage against you. And sure, I guess, but that's kind of like trying to play catch and then never throwing someone the ball because you don't want to lose it. Relationships can't happen without some degree of vulnerability, and saying I'm an independent woman who don't need no man is basically saying that you're not going to do your part. So I'm sorry, but of course dating is going to be hard for you.
I'm so tired of hearing there are no good men left. I disagree completely. I have never had a problem meeting good men, not once. But when I ask women who say this, what are you actually doing to meet someone? Are you going out? Are you trying? The answer is always the same. Either yes, but dating apps are full of idiots, or no, it's too much work. And there it is. Because finding a good person who meets your standards, yes, it is work, real work. And you have to actually do it. I have a friend, Jennifer. Beautiful life, amazing man by her side. Other women look at her and say, how? She's not even that pretty. I will tell you how. She has life in her eyes. She goes out, she does things, she puts herself out there even when it's uncomfortable. She did the work. A good man is not going to knock on your door while you're sitting at home scrolling through your phone complaining there are none left. You want a great relationship? Go build a life. And the right person will find you in the middle of it. Tell me I'm wrong and follow my page for more personal stories.
These messages literally perpetuate the problem that our society faces with dating, relationships, and loneliness.
If we are telling other people to isolate and to not be in relationship and to protect our hearts from being vulnerable, from putting ourselves out there, if we're trying to create conditions that are the most optimal ways to live, where we never get hurt, we never face rejection, we are literally never going to grow, build resilience, and build the skill sets to regulate our own emotions. And that is literally what life is about. It's learning how to regulate your emotions, because 99% of things in life we cannot control for and we cannot predict. So what you've got to focus on is how do you create a sense of inner joy and inner peace despite what's going around you. So staying single and isolating yourself from relationships that are beautiful and like foundational to human, like the human experience, that doesn't increase your peace. That actually just makes you more depressed, because humans are wired to connect. And frankly, we shouldn't be outsourcing our peace onto anything or anyone else. Like, you need to learn how to create that for yourself and create your own sense of joy and internal feelings of joy. So it's comments like these that are deeply troubling to see and are really not helping anyone.
If your man has to beg for affection, something is deeply off. He shouldn't have to chase you around the house just to get a kiss. He shouldn't feel like he's annoying you just to be touched. He's your husband, not a side character you can barely tolerate. You say you love him, but when was the last time you showed him, without words, without him asking? And no, I'm not talking about packing his lunch. I'm talking about pulling him close when he walks by, giving him that look that says, I still want you. Because if he's showing up, working hard, staying loyal, being a solid man, why should he feel like he's starving for your attention? Flirt, touch, initiate. Desire is not some extra bonus in marriage. It's the glue that keeps everything from falling apart. And when a husband feels ignored long enough, he stops asking. He stops reaching for you. He builds walls instead of bridges. He starts wondering if he's even wanted anymore. And that's how emotional distance begins. Quietly, but dangerously. Eventually, the man who once craved your affection forgets how to ask for it. If you want to deepen your connection with your spouse and start building a marriage full of love and understanding, I've put together powerful guides that can help you. You'll find it in my bio.
If you want to know if your woman truly respects you, my brother, it's not hard. All you have to do is watch her when she's mad. That's it. Just watch how she acts when she's vexed. When the love is calm, everyone sounds kind. There's no drama, so everybody's good. But when she's vexed, no filter, that's where the truth leaks out. You have to pay attention to the words she throws at you when she's heated. When that woman vexed, just listen to her and just watch her. And you have to ask yourself those questions. Number one, does she stay on the issue or does she go below the belt? If you're vexed over X, is she bringing up Y and everything else? Is she throwing things back in your face? Is she throwing those little pillow talk conversations you had? Your fears, your insecurity? Number two, does she still protect your dignity even while you're arguing? Or is her only goal to win? Anger doesn't create new values. All anger does is expose what's already hidden. Another question to ask yourself, when you're upset, how does she act? Does she try to de-escalate the situation, or does she add fire to the fuel? Does she see your pain and still choose respect, or does she make it all about her? Any woman can be sweet when she's happy, but respect is proven in the storm. Respect is the root, and that's where you must pay attention.
The reason women be feeling real masculine, I guess, or the reason it's like an imbalance in the house is because the women they're not being helpmate. Help your husband achieve his goal. Boom, once y'all get him off the ground, once y'all build him up, then we go work on you. You're the helpmate. That's why y'all be struggling and stuff, and y'all be wanting to be mad at me in the comments when I be saying, when you be trying to do a whole lot, when you trying to be the breadwinner, when you trying to be the boss, when you trying to run your own business, when you trying to have kids, when you trying to raise kids, when you trying to be a wife, you trying to do so much at one time. That's why you like mediocre in all areas, every area. And then you wondering why it just ain't working out for you. Because you're being masculine. Help that man be a helpmate, man. We ain't got but one job here. Be a helpmate. carry some babies, give birth, raise these kids. I mean, y'all can be successful and do all that other stuff, but if my man getting it, I'm good. I'm good. That's how y'all gotta think.
Yes! Exactly! Finally! Someone that's smart! I don't have to call you I don't have to call you out your name because you know the deal. It's a transaction, right? Right? That's what they say. It's shut the up. It's what I say it is. All right? Exactly. Now, for any woman that knows that, your life will be abundantly increased or increased abundantly. I got cameras on me right now. I'm putting on a show.
This is the highest performing men across society on every continent. They grow society, but the cost is that their oxytocin receptors block. They get closed off because of that sympathetic nervous system activation. Now, as this happens, they cannot form sentimental, warm, affectionate bonds with people, and they can't receive that. Now, oxytocin is crucial because you have to use it to synthesize GABA, which suppresses cortisol release. So GABA shuts down your cortisol and says, I'm loved, I'm cared for, I'm in a tribe of brothers. When we look at Iceland, they have a great saying on this: bear is the back of a brotherless man. This is a man whose back is always bare, so he's always watching his front and his back and can never relax. So he is never, ever, ever able to come out of stress mode. He is always active, but that means that he can't use GABA to synthesize melatonin to sleep at night. Okay. His oxytocin doesn't allow that because it's so low. He has chronic pain. He doesn't sleep well at night, so he's not generating serotonin, so his mood is low. He's in a depressed state that he doesn't recognize. He's not only redlining, but probably blacklining much of the time and stressed out. His testosterone about 30 to 35 begins to diminish. He has erectile dysfunction about 30 to 35. He is only able to form relationships romantically based on novelty dopamine, which dies 5 to 7 months into a relationship, and then it just becomes relentless duty without pleasure or payoff. And then about 40, 45, he begins having high risk of cancer, heart attack, and stroke. But he has formed an immense business. He's fed other people's families. He's taking care of people. But when he goes home at night, all he does is drink alcohol and wish that he had somebody there to take care of him and be with him.
I think a lot of women are experiencing long periods of time of zero attraction to men.
No, and I feel so seen right now. We have to talk about it because so many women are coming forward and confessing like, hey, for some reason, I don't know why, I have not been actually like genuinely attracted to a man in so long. And Lord, have we been trying. But it almost feels like we grew out of it or something. And what is going on? And I have to agree. I honestly thought that I was fully done with men and had moved on past that until I recently ran into a man at an event. You may or may not know. That was for the first time live on film. You saw me feel something again, and I was freaked out about it. Honestly, I think it was just an energy I didn't even know still existed in men out there somewhere, and I've been desperately clinging to that as a shred of hope for society ever since. But even recently, like a guy that I was in love with or had a crush on, whatever you want to call it, for years reached back out to me and started flirting with me. And watching it happen gave me the ick, which was crazy because if that man had reached out to me and said and done the exact same thing back when I was like 22, it's what I always dreamed of. But now in 2026, I was just like, it's kind of cringe. It's a little bit embarrassing at our grown age. And your jokes, I don't know, they're just not landing. Some of them are rubbing me a little bit the wrong way. And I'm not willing to let enough of this slide anymore to think this is cute. And I do think it's a combination of two things. I think one, men are getting worse. The manosphere is becoming bigger. And two, I'm building the women's sphere. We're all becoming more aware of this behavior and we're letting less of it slide as it gets worse. In girl math terms, it's like fixing your student loan debt by going out and buying a new car. You're actually just snowballing the whole thing, and it's starting to get noticeably insane.
Stop! Y'all gotta check this out.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort?
When women decided they were too independent to need a man.
It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him.
After they've been rejected so many times, but not being able to pay for somebody's life.
That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul.
But shouldn't they like each other a lot?
So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first.
But if a guy does that today, he will be called a creep, a perv, or maybe even put in jail.
How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance, and my mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gotten married, they would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date, so he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park, just planned the whole thing. He wrote her poetry. He was yearning.
Today's women don't want that. They want what they see on the internet. Fake relationship goals and materialistic stuff.
And one of the things I don't think modern women understand, or they don't want to really give men credit for, is a man being competent. Right? And so they think the way they do things is the more competent way. And they'll sit up in your face and talk to you as if the stuff that you're doing is wrong. Like, God forbid, I don't need art and decoration and all this other stuff. I mean, it's nice to have, but I don't really need it in my apartment. That's not a need. Well, you don't have all these foods, this, and this in your apartment. It's just me. Why would I have a fridge full of stuff that I'm not going to eat? I have the food that I eat. Oh man, you got this, you got that. You only got ground beef and rice. Is there anything else I actually need? I mean, yeah, I can switch it up and find some other stuff. But there was one woman upset about trainers telling them what to eat and how to operate at a caloric deficit. Basically, as I think I remember it. They don't know women's bodies. What? So they say a lot of stupid stuff. They try to act like men aren't competent, when really it's just that he doesn't do it the way that you want him to do it. He doesn't allow you to get away with stuff that's not actually true. That's not actually true.